When in doubt, blame Marvel Studios and the MCU. Enter Adam Devine, or maybe Devine, one of those two. Anyways, the reason you aren't watching comedy and the reason comedy is no longer one of the highest margin profitable films in Hollywood, it's all Marvel Studios' fault. Just like everything else. This has got to be one of the biggest Mr. Fantastic audition type stretches I have ever seen because, good God, yeah, he's pretty much getting dragged through the mud by everybody. Even people that don't like the MCU are coming to the MCU's defense being like, bro, seriously? Like, seriously? Okay, so here's what's going on. Essentially, he said that if you go to a theater these days, you are looking to go for a blockbuster experience. Therefore, nobody is going to see the smaller comedies that used to populate and literally dominate theaters, specifically in the late 2000s to the early 2010s. And he says it's mostly because of those Marvel movies, because they're funny. They got a talking raccoon. That's hilarious. They have what's known as Marvel comedy. So he's blaming the rise of the giant blockbuster having tons of comedy elements for why people are not watching comedy. I agree with him. He's right. People are not watching bad comedy films because there's better alternatives, and a lot of people have noticed that the same shtick over and over is not working for comedy. I mean, can anybody legitimately tell me that we needed Hangover 3? It's the same plot as the first two. The franchise literally died because people were like, wow, that's just the same joke over and over, right? Marvel Studios came in and they give people a good time. A lot of people say, I never expected the Ant-Man films to be the funniest comedy of the year because they are legitimately funny. They're made like a comedy. So I do understand what he's saying, but also I don't agree with him to a degree because you can't just blame Marvel for everything, right? Just because a film has comedy doesn't mean that it's stealing from other comedies. That's just not the case. They're not comedy films at their core. They just happen to feature comedy just like Marvel Comics have ever since the beginning. The thing that's the bigger issue here is that a lot of people do not want to go pay $12, $14, $16, $18, $22 to watch a film in IMAX that's a comedy. Why? Why would you go pay high ticket prices to watch a comedy in a movie theater when there's a new blockbuster every other week, or this year, every week? Comedy's going to get lost in the shuffle. So I can agree with what he's saying and kind of go, yeah, I see his point, but also he's kind of wrong in his assessment because put out good comedies and people will come see them. They are just not the most dominant form of entertainment, especially when you have things like the funny movies, which literally drag that entire genre to death.